Are you curious to see how the new travel arrangements affect you guys and what that impacts?
Yeah, I am. Uh, travel so far this year has been an experience in itself, but now we're starting Pac-12 play and heading down there this afternoon, and we already had to make a little bit of a change and back up or move it forward, our travel time, hour and a half or something like that, just because the charter plane needs to be able to gas up. So I guess we're heading from here to Spokane to get more gas to head south. So all that stuff doesn't sound like a big deal, and hopefully it's not, but it changes, once you arrive, when you eat and when you practice, and it affects you a little bit here and there. But it's the same for everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody will have different situations and issues to deal with.
But so you're coming back right after the game Wednesday.
Right. We'll be back here tomorrow night or early Thursday morning. Kids will be in class on Thursday and Friday, and then turn around and leave Friday afternoon and head back down to the Bay Area for the Saturday afternoon game, which is at 1 o'clock.
Is that just done to try to minimize the amount of class they miss with the extra day in between?
Yes. Yeah. This time of year, it's hard. It's hard enough playing basketball and going to class and doing your studies, even if every game was at home, but let alone on the road, and then dealing with being here in Pullman and the travel challenges that we sometimes have.
Is the ability to charter what allows you to do that? Do you think if you were still flying commercial, you would just stay down there? Or?
Yeah, we would. We would stay down there, and because it would take a little longer to get back. Well, we wouldn't be able to get back until at least Thursday afternoon. And then we would probably need to take off Friday morning to be able to get down there and play Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. What'll be interesting to me is our trip back tomorrow night on a charter plane. I see it snowing now. Who knows? I know we're scheduled to get in late tomorrow night, but if all of a sudden we can't land here at Pullman, then maybe it's Lewiston or Spokane and then bus back.
What are your impressions of Stanford from what you've seen?
I see a team that has the pieces, but they haven't put them together yet. Last year they did a nice job at the very end winning the NIT, and they played very well in that tournament. Going into this season, I think their expectations were a little bit higher than they've been able to perform so far, but I do believe the pieces are there. They have a lot of talent. They have a group of guys that play well together, and I think it's just a matter of time before they click and play really good basketball.
I've been reading that they've been switching their lineups almost every single game. How do you prepare for a team that you don't know what they're going to throw at you?
Well, we're not sure what they'll throw at us at the beginning for the opening tip, but for the bulk of the 40 minutes, we know their personnel and who will be playing the majority of those minutes. So it's like any other game. We are preparing for those top 7, 8, 9 guys. We just don't know who will start the game.
Well, when other teams front Brock like Washington did, what can he do better to try to get himself open in situations where he can get the ball?
There's some things that he can do better. One would be to set more screens, and all of a sudden it becomes like a double screen because of the way they're guarding him. And then we need to work with him on just how to get open, different ways to get open in those circumstances.
What about the rest of the team? I guess specifically Mike as a point guard. Do you feel like he was kind of thrown off by not being able to enter it to him? And
a little bit, but I thought he helped. I thought he held his composure and dealt with it pretty well. He didn't get too rattled. He tried to get it there at times. We tried to run some other options to get the ball to Brock, and again, Washington did a nice job of taking that away, but like I said in the post game, 35 minutes into the game, we're up were up 4, even though they did a nice job of taking Brock out of it for the majority of the time. Other guys stepped up and made big plays for us to be there right at the end.
Did you ever get a ruling from the NCAA on whether Q can practice this semester?
No, we are anxiously awaiting.
Do you have any idea when that might be? Or?
I don't. I sent a text message last night to someone here on campus that's involved in that, and we're just waiting to hear word from the NCAA.
Going back to Stanford a little bit, I know you mentioned that their expectations were probably a little bit higher, and for me, I actually thought they were maybe a national championship contender a year or two from now. Where did you think they might be at this point in this season?
Well, it's not like I thought they would be undefeated or just 1 or 2 losses. I mean, they've played some tough games, and they just got finished playing on the road, which is always a challenge. But I thought they would be playing a tad bit better. That's probably what I'm saying. But I think they have the potential to be really good. One thing that hurt them is they lost one of their key players, and once Anthony Brown went down, that just changes things. You plan ever since that last game at the NIT last year when they won the championship. You start planning for the next year, and you work on things in the spring and in the summer, and they might even have gone on a foreign tour this last summer. I know 7 of the 12 teams went. I don't recall whether they went or not, but regardless, he's a big part of that team, and then all of a sudden, late November, he gets hurt. It changes things.
Sure.
So I'm sure that didn't help their situation.